you've been trying so hard to stop yelling at your kids, figure out a way how to make them listen without you losing your patience. And you might already know so much. There's so much information. Logically, it all makes sense. You understand. And it's just not enough. Hi, and welcome to the next episode of the Zen Supermom podcast. The first parenting podcast that's not about kids. How about that? Today, the episode is for you if you've been trying hard. So, why is this not about trying harder, trying to push your willpower, just like, let me be calm, let me be calm, let me be patient, and like, what do you need instead? Interested in knowing and finally breaking that yelling cycle? Well, let's go. Hi, my name is Alena and I'm a mommy tantrum specialist because I used to have mommy tantrums every day, yelling at my daughter as early as when she was 1 year old. So, luckily for her and for you, I did figure it out, and it had nothing to do with me trying harder and harder, pushing with my willpower, reading more books, getting more knowledge about how to stay calm, doing more meditation, trying to count till 10, doing breath work just to calm down in a moment. None of that worked for me. So if that doesn't work for you either, don't worry, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken beyond fixing. This is actually quite common. It's not normal in a way. We will talk about that why, but it's unfortunately very common. That's what this entire podcast is about, to help you see that you're not alone. And there are a few things like that we can stop doing because they don't work and we can do it differently. So that's for whom this podcast episode is, because I just finished doing assessment call with a mom who was, surprise, surprise, that was my first, neuroscientist. And so she told me, and I was like, what? Tell me exactly, like what kind of neuroscientist? What are you doing? And she said, well, yeah, I do the research on the brain. I know exactly like the stress research on the brain. She said, I know, I could tell you, I could give a talk. I could like do a course on university on how that works in the brain. I know exactly what's happening with my brain in those moments, but I can't help it. I'm still yelling at my daughter. So first of all, sending big hugs to you, mom, you know who you are. And thank you so much for this inspiration. But also it's a topic I see coming up so often. It is so common. It has nothing to do with how smart you are. And I see it even with like other super smart people. When I was hiring earlier, like even last year, 2 years ago, when I was hiring for my team, looking for coaches to do this work, I got CVs of so many impressive people that even it made me feel intimidated a bit before I met them, because I was like, wow, and why would these people want to work with me? Like compared to them, I have maybe a quarter of their, like the length of the list of their certifications and all kinds of gurus and masters of this or that. It sounded amazing. And then I met with some of them, and because we were chatting in less formal context, and they were asking about me and my daughter and like what my healing journey was. And so then I was asking them, because this was one of my key values, one of my key principles. Whomever comes on my team, I want them to practice what they preach. I'm not interested in the certifications. You need to live it. Because otherwise, what's the freaking point, right? And this is how I met, and no judgment, only compassion. But this is how I met a lot of wonderful people with such big hearts, so much passion for what they're doing and for helping others heal. But whenever I heard like, yeah, and my clients are struggling with this and that, and sometimes I cry in their sessions because their stories are so touching, I'm like, excuse me? Or sometimes I like yell at this and that, and sometimes I have these kind of conflicts in my family, and I'm like, okay, so yeah, compassion, I get it. I used to be there as well. And also, I don't think we are a good fit for each other. So hear me out. I'm coming from zero judgment. I'm still work in progress. I will never put myself on a pedestal. I'm not perfect. Do I yell at my daughter? No. Do I yell at my husband or my dad or my brother? No. Do I sometimes feel that anger still? Do I sometimes get stressed out when the clock is ticking and we need to get to school? Sometimes, rarely. Do I raise my voice or make anybody stressed out? No. Do I practice what I preach, teach, and coach and mentor? You freaking bet that I do. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here today. I would be already burned out. I would be already like somewhere in a mental hospital with all my relationships broken, including my bank account broken as well, everything, because all of those limiting beliefs and these old patterns, they would have killed me already. So this is why I'm sharing all of this and like background information on like what recruitment I'm doing with my team and the coaches who I allow to work with the community I serve. Why I'm sharing so much of that background is because I want you to understand this is not about learning and absorbing knowledge and logically understanding some concept. I have worked with clinical psychiatrists, psychologists, parenting coaches, teachers, people who are teaching at universities, people who have decades of experience in meditation and mindfulness, yoga, and I don't know what. And I have respect for that. But what I'm most interested in is, are you living it? Are you able to apply what your brain knows in order to get the result you want? And if you're here listening to this podcast, I could imagine the result that you might want is to be a healthy, safe parent for your kids to be able to express all the range of their emotions so that they grow up feeling unconditionally loved by you while understanding, like through that safe attachment, being able to understand and respect boundaries and want to cooperate and actually feel motivated from the inside to listen to you and have a safe relationship with you. A lot of words to say that, like to express how I hear it from many moms, like I want to be a calm parent. I want to be a happy woman, not just a mom, not just faking it, not just doing it for the kids, but how would your life change if you could dig out the roots of all the stressing and all the people pleasing, avoiding conflicts, not being able to say no, not holding any boundaries, being afraid of all the judgment, what will other think, if we are late, if my daughter has a meltdown, if like, what would that do to you? And when do you finally realize that this is not about how hard you're pushing, how smart you are, how much you're learning, how many books you read? If it was just that, you would have already figured that out. So something is probably missing in this equation. And what I'm inviting you to consider is, like, do you have tools available? Do you have practices available? Things that you can do right in that moment as you notice your anger creeping in, your stress, the time pressure, the frustration from your kids not listening. Do you have practical tools to stop that, create a pause, take a break, evaluate what's really going on in this dynamic and what is it that your kids need that they have are not being met, and how to meet it effectively without you taking it personally and emotionally vomiting all of this baggage onto them? Do you have these tools? And if you feel you do, what's stopping you from practicing them? Because that answer will be again pointing somewhere to your past. Procrastination, burnout, lack of motivation. I'm putting that in air quotes because all of these are going to the same roots. It's the exact same reason why you cannot stay calm with your kids. And I know it sounds super crazy. But if you've been listening to any of these podcast episodes, you know where I'm going with this. It's all going to the same place. In the past, you learned these patterns. You were not born with them. And no amount of reading, studying, and smart brain work or willpower is going to change that. Even for that neuroscientist lady. She's making the commitment to get the tools and start practicing, because without that, nothing is going to change. It's just going to get worse. Okay. So this is my invitation for you today. It's going to be a super brief episode because enough talking on one hand. Yes, I'm here happy to do all the case studies and work through different situations from different angles, but also there needs to come a point for you to realize all of these are distractions from the real work. You don't need more information. You need to start actually getting it done. So if you feel like you have what it takes, you have the practices, you've been just procrastinating on it or being distracted, not making it priority, well, then revisit your priorities. Make sure that you make time for it, because if you don't, realize what it's going to cost you. And if you feel like you don't, then reach out wherever you're seeing us. Whenever you feel like you don't have the tools, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but something in it hooked you, then reach out and let's get that done. Let's get those tools to you. Okay? I'm going to finish this by sharing my compassion with you. I don't want to make you feel guilty for anything. You're already suffering enough, feeling guilty and ashamed for like how your stuff is now being like pushed onto your kids. So I don't want to go there. Where I want to point your nose to, I often use that with my clients. They're laughing with me by now. I'm always saying like eyes on the road. Why is it going to be worth it? Why is it going to be worth it to make this your priority? To start changing these automated reactions? Why is it worth it? If I met you, and this is exactly what I said to that neuroscientist mom today, earlier this morning, I told her, well, if I met you 10, 20 years from now, just to check in, like, hey, how has things been? What do you want to tell me? What would you want to celebrate with me? What would you be most proud of? In that future, where you know you took the action, you stopped running around in circles, just pushing harder, reading and studying harder, and you actually took action that started changing it and rewiring it within a few weeks. How would your life change? What would you be celebrating 10, 20 years from now? How would you be celebrating your kids? What changes would you see on your kids? Start making the choices of today from that place, from that perspective. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, especially now, back to school in most of Europe, and around the world as well. You are probably running around in circles trying to figure out the new routines and get kids settled without any separation anxiety and stress and waking up early in the morning. It's totally normal to lose track of the bigger picture, but that's why my invitation is here for you. Start having that big picture in mind, because every day counts and you have more power than you realize. We just had a group call last night. There was a mom who was celebrating a win, saying that they spent holidays with grandparents and that the grandma had some not so nice comments towards the kids, calling them dumb. And the kids spoke up themselves. They said, "Grandma, that's not a nice thing to say. No, we don't accept that." And the grandma was like, "Oh, what? You're so disrespectful." And then she was even more. "And I didn't say anything. There's nothing wrong with saying you're dumb. It's true." And the kids, "No, we don't say that, Grandma. That's not nice to say." And then she was towards my client, the mom, saying like, "Your kids are so disrespectful. That would never work for me when I was little. Like, I would never say that to my grandma. Like, how dare they? They are so spoiled. You don't have any discipline with them," and all that stuff. My client was able to stay completely zen. And she was like, "No, Mom, they are right. This is not okay." And then later also the grandma continued spewing. Then when she calmed down, she wanted to go and to get hugs from the kids. And the kids were like, "No, not right now, Grandma." And so she got again like, what? This is generational freaking healing in real life. You have no idea how much power you have in helping your kids become completely like Zen, assertive masters that no bully will ever mess up with. This is how the generational healing looks like in real life. And this is what's possible for you too. So this is, by the way, for any women who often come to me and like, yeah, but I'm doing so great, but it's my husband, it's my mom who's like bullying the kids and da. I do not care. Your kids are vulnerable only as long as they are not safely connected to you and they don't have a healthy role model in you how to stand up to these bullies. Did you hear me? It's all up to you. You have that power to protect your kids, even when you're not there. They get it so fast because, yes, they are so smart, aren't they? So use that for the good, for the positive, for the healing, right? So I'm going to leave you with that. You have my utmost compassion and appreciation because you are so brave, you courageous generational cycle breaker. So go for it. If you have the tools, now it's time to start really double down on your practice. Keep using it. And if you don't and need help, reach out. Take very good care, Supermom. I'm going to see you in the next episode of the Zen Supermom podcast.
Why am I shouting on the kids?
I would just get so angry that I would shout at, the kid, the husband, the dog.
I was just getting angry and disappointed.
I was struggling with postnatal rage.
I just couldn't keep my emotions.
I am a very high pleaser.
I was struggling with addiction, diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and concurrent disorder with drinking alcohol and smoking weed.
Was completely fine until my second kid was born. Thing was kind of screwed up.
I love all the people, but it looks like that I do not love myself.
I tried in parenting courses, I tried book. There was still something missing.
I was just lost.
To get rid of my own trauma, I have to get rid of my generational trauma.
Being a mom, for me, I find it really difficult. Some people just have this natural instinct from the beginning.
I've spent like 10 grand on therapy, on DBT for a year, and I wasn't any better, didn't resolve everything.
I think my relationship with my kids, that was why I did it in the first place.
I have done a lot of mindfulness therapy and that kind of stuff, but I've never had these one-on-one sessions that you actually go and rescue yourself, your younger self.
I learned to love those parts of myself.
And so I started establishing my boundaries. People that I had problems with, they didn't change, but our relationships have changed because I changed. My perception changed.
And now I feel like I have a calmness in me just to leave the situation. If I feel this is not helping me or doing me good.
That you can still think clearly once the situation happens. I'm much calmer now, I think. The meltdowns are so much shorter. Even if she's got big emotions, we know what to do with it.
Well, my absolute wins at this moment is that I have absolute set up a relationship with my ex, with the boundaries.
Things are just so much better. Friends, family, they're all noticing, and some even that don't know what I've been doing. And they're like, something's different here. You're calmer and you're so much more relaxed, and the atmosphere in your house is different.
After 2 months in the program, I already noticed so much difference, still losing it sometimes, but not as often as I did. So
I feel much more at peace with myself, and I enjoy spending time with my daughter.
It was actually a birthday present to myself.
I never could have imagined that my life would have changed as much as it has in 4 months.
All of a sudden, everything comes to its place.
if you really, really want to help your children and help yourself, then you just have to do it, because it actually works. It really, really works. You only can do your best, but you have to heal first.
But I can tell you it worked for me. And there's a lot of science behind it.
It's a very nice journey, let's say. If you are still struggling whether I should go for it, please do. I gave myself this course as a gift to my 45th birthday. So I'm very, very happy. And I'm like, finally, I have the feeling that I have my life in my hands.
It feels so much better, so much calmer, so much more relaxed. It was the best Christmas present I could ever have bought myself.
Fortunately, I'm very happy that I did this.
Do it as soon as possible, because I feel like even if you have a child or not, it's great to do. It's great to clean up your own mess for your own sake.
I can say no now. The world didn't fall apart.
I spend more time connecting with my children now. And my relationship with my husband is better. My sleep's better. Everything's better.
And again, I don't know where I would be today.
There is a light at the end of the tunnel, that it is possible to change the way how you see the things, how you deal with them, only because you do something different.
Fix yourself. This is the right way to heal.
What am I saving the money for? In case if I don't enjoy the life.
Eyes on the road.
I'm happy because I see the kids are happy.